Right. I'm here to interview Mr. Rose Silva. He's a ward manager here in Tigrin Ward, and I have asked for his permission to have this video recorded for educational purposes and for the fulfillment of my assignment in the master's degree in University of the Philippines. So, how are you, Mr. Rose?
Very well, thank you very much.
All right. So I just want to state the purpose of and objective of this interview. I just want to, for the purpose of the objective of this interview, is to know my nurse leader in a professional manner and gather insight about their management styles that they have acquired through the years of experience. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I just want you to answer this as simple as you can and as briefly as you can. All right. My first question is. What are your motivations as an administrator?
Okay, but that's actually my motivation actually as an administrator is kind of trying to make a difference within the nursing field. So it's kind of leading a team and actually kind of leading them to deliver the best care possible to our patients.
And you like, in addition to that, do you like supporting your nurses in terms to clinical skills?
I do, absolutely, yes. I do actually combine my managerial time in the office with my clinical time. So I do actually a combination of them. It varies. Sometimes it's 30 to 70 or 70 to 10, 70 to 30%, so or 50-50 varies. So it depends on the needs of the clinical area. But I do support the staff clinically as well.
Right, okay. I just wanted to have a follow-up questions regarding that. Does it fulfill you as a leader when you see your nurses like they are happy, they are well supported, and that they're happy working in the place? Does it feel?
Absolutely, yes. It's quite gratifying, quite rewarding when you actually see that your staff is happy, that the staff actually is engaging with you as well. Right. So I would consider myself to be a failure as a leader if my staff wasn't happy and if they weren't engaging with me.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good answer. Okay, the next question would be, what are your leadership qualities?
Well, it's very difficult, really. I like to think that I'm approachable, and I'm actually quite kind of caring as well, not just to my patients but also to my staff. I mean, to give you an example, this morning one of my colleagues said to me, actually, you're concerned about your staff, you care about them, because obviously I know he lives here by himself. So it's about being kind of a little bit of parenting your staff as well.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm a good listener, and I do actually listen to my patients and the staff as well. But from a leadership perspective, is kind of being there for the staff and being able to support them and to actually guide them through their professional career as well. So I'm a great advocate of education, and I do actually like to push and put people forward into different courses and different programs to develop themselves, really.
All right. Lovely. Right. So my next question is, how do you make a critical thinking and decision-making skills?
Right. Well, I believe in order to actually lead a team, you need to actually have the clinical experience first. So if I was actually to lead an orthopedic team or a surgical team, I needed to have work within those areas first. But in terms of kind of a leadership perspective, again, the critical thinking, you have to take all factors into consideration. So to give you an example, if somebody's actually telling you I can't come to work these days for whatever reason, you need to actually factor not just this person itself, but you still have to provide a service, and you still have to actually maintain the safety of the patient. So you kind of have to factor all the different aspects into account, and also you make the decision based on that. It's not black or white. You can perhaps come into a negotiation, or can perhaps actually meet in the middle. So again, it's not just taking all the different aspects and getting the information from different angles, and then actually make your decision based on that.
Okay, lovely. Okay, my next question is, how do you handle conflicts in your workplace? Do you have any conflicts in the workplace?
Well, it happens. We work with all people, with different people. Sometimes you don't always get on well with your colleagues, but you just have to maintain the professionalism. And how do you handle it? Well, I would actually put the different individuals apart, or kind of listen to different individuals, try to ascertain what the issue was, and perhaps then ask them as well how they would like the situation to be solved. So it's
Right.
not what I think. I can obviously ultimately I might haven't kind of made the final decision, but I like to different to the different perspectives and see what they're feeling,
Yeah.
what the situation is,
Yeah.
and how would they like to take it forward as well. So it's actually working together with them rather than telling them what they need to do.
All right. Okay. That's very nice. Do you have any budgeting or managing financial managing financially for the ward? Do you have any dealings with financial things or any
But we
budgeting
have
for the
actually
ward?
considered them the budget holders. So although we're not physically deciding where we're spending the money, but we do actually have I leave a very kind of a leverage and room to maneuver in terms of saying, but if I'm actually not spending enough money on whatever dressing, to
Yeah.
give an example, I might actually want to say, well, that money that is there, I might spend it on this dressing instead of using a bit more. Or in terms of staffing, if I actually feel that I'm over budgeted for something else, for some sort of like, let's say, registered nurses, but I haven't got enough nurses,
Mhm.
so I must say actually I'll employ some healthcare support workers, so just to support the nurses.
Alright.
So you do have a little bit of room to actually to maneuver and discuss it. But ultimately, there is an accountant who helps you with this process. So if there's any issues, you can always go back to them.
Yeah, you can. There's always a support system
Yes.
that you can ask. Okay, so do you have any utilization of technology, or do you use technology in decision making processes? Uh,
Okay. Well, I am quite technologically driven. I do like my devices,
Yeah.
and I'm a great advocate kind of introducing, for example, electronic records, which
Yeah.
we're in the process of doing. I mean, we do actually do I do all my roster online,
yeah,
and all the employees have access to the roster online as well. So and
Yeah.
I do strongly recommend that they actually request it annually for the holidays or the days off, the step days, through that way, because then I can just go into the system and approve you all. And I do use that, for example, to draw up my figures in terms of a sickness,
mm-hmm.
in terms of a training
Mm-hmm.
percentages. So I do actually use technology in order to actually draw and make decisions as well.
Right. I just want to have a follow-up questions with that. For example, you have introduced new technology for patient safety or patient to improve patient's care, and obviously not everyone in the world will going to embrace it. The new technology that comes in. So, how do you handle those kind of things?
It's very challenging actually, Mark, because the people who will always say, "Well, I don't know how to deal with that," or "I'm not very skilled with IT."
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of going through the process with them.
Yeah.
And if I think that that's the best way forward, and we're actually introducing a piece of technology or a piece of equipment or some kind of a system, electronic system that is actually going to be for the benefit of the patient, is being proven, I will be determined. And I think actually it's important that they, as a leader,
Yeah.
you believe in that, because
Yeah.
if you don't, you won't actually drive your employees to actually use the
Oh, yeah.
system. So
That's true.
if you don't actually, if they're not very technologically driven, or they don't actually have the knowledge, or they're a bit reluctant to use the system or whatever, it's just kind of a sitting with them, explaining the benefits and going through the process. How do you actually use the equipment, or what are the benefits, and you will report to the patient. And I like to think, that we have introduced a few changes within the clinical area to actually to support the patient safety and to implement the patient safety, and the staff has embraced it really well.
Oh, that's good. Okay. And my last question would be, were you involved in any policy making or any guidelines that the hospital currently use?
I'm not being involved personally in any policy making. However, I have reviewed policies. So
Right, okay.
basically, once the policies have been actually drawn up, they've been written, they obviously send it out for ratification, well, for kind of a review, and then obviously you send it for peer review, and then you send it off for ratification when it's been reviewed. So having asked a few times to review certain policies, I have been involved in what we call SOPs, standard operating and
Procedures, yeah.
which you actually write them just to establish guidelines, or to establish what is the normal protocol to follow.
Right.
And one of the ones that I was involved with was postoperative care, which is the specialty that we do here. So we look after elective patients
Yeah.
or planned surgery. So it was actually determining what we're going to do if the patient comes with a catheters, how often we're going to record the observations, when do we actually do neurovascular
Neurovascular
observations,
obs, yeah.
and all of that. So that I was involved in that. So not being directly involved in any policy,
Mm.
but I've been asked a few times to review them and participating in kind of
Right.
putting
But-
together sort. Yeah.
Okay. Just a follow-up question: do you challenge those policies? For example, if you think that this policy or these guidelines that they're being implemented, it's not actually feasible or it's not actually safe for the patient, do you come to challenge?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
the,
Yes. I mean, ultimately, that's the whole job or task of the person reviewing the policy. So it's actually, obviously, sometimes people writing the policies don't necessarily have to have the clinical knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's why you're being asked to review those. So if there's anything that you don't agree with it, or you don't actually think is going to be beneficial, or it's not what evidence is showing us that is the right thing to do, then that's when you will challenge, and then you go back to the person writing the policy and say we need to look at that differently.
Oh, that's fine. And that's all the questions that I have for you, Mr. Rowe. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to interview you.
Of course.
And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.